Pumpkins. Pumpkins just in time for spring.
Exactly. This is my question.
Our seasonal pumpkins.
If I cut off the piece and then I scoop my ruler.
Let's see. This is the behind the scenes learning. Study up quick. Hey, Barb.
This piece is cut from that.
Hi, Anne.
Yes.
Here's our sweet pumpkins.
Yes.
And then that's piece two.
Yes.
Okay.
Kathy and Joyce are studying up.
We're conferring.
Beth Dag, where are you?
That's true. We need our teachers. We need our instructors.
Right. This is a, whoops, I'm probably in the shadows. This is a class that Beth Dag taught. Well, did she teach it?
Yes.
It actually came and went, okay. It's actually using the mini pumpkins. But I should first say hi to people, right?
Yeah. Hey, Julie, Melanie, Shelly,
everybody.
Nadine.
We just get ourselves set up.
Whew.
You know that I do this on the fly every day, right? You know I've never made
That's why it's so entertaining.
Yeah, she has never made this quilt. Beth made this. It's so
I've
cute.
never made this quilt, and literally, how many minutes ago?
5.
5.
Oh, about 8 till I said, okay, let me take over for you.
Okay, so Joyce literally handed me the pattern. She says, "Go study." No. Okay. I do think it's.
Oh, Julie made it too.
Oh, yay!
All right,
Okay,
Julie, chime in.
yeah.
Okay,
You're doing
Julie.
it wrong.
Julie, just tell me what I'm doing wrong when I do it. Like, make sure that you're like on it really fast so that I can correct and make like it look intentional. Okay, so we are moving from our quick curve ruler, the big guy, to
The mini.
The mini. Dun 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 dun.
Da, 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 da.
Okay, and we moved to fall. We just skipped right over spring and summer.
Because it's cute.
It feels like fall out there also.
It does. It's a rainy fall like day. Although the trees are beautiful, they're all blooming. It's
We'll just pretend half of the leaves fell off since only half of them are back on.
that's
so-
right. That's right. Yes, and elastic is here. It's been going out fast and furiously.
We're
But if you're on our
We are
list,
calling.
Yes, we're calling.
We are calling you as we get your order ready.
Yes.
But you can also, if you're not on our list, call us. We do have some extra.
Yeah, this time we're in good shape for a minute. For a minute,
minute.
anyway. Yeah,
5
for a minute.
minutes,
Yep.
maybe.
So if you're interested in it, let us know. Okay, so the difference today is we were really staying with the one shape and the 7.5 inch square. And this ruler, I do want to say one more thing before I move off of the big ruler, is that we kept cutting it with it going diagonally, but you can also cut with it going horizontally as well. And we're going to do that with the wedding ring we took down. But we're going to do the wedding ring tomorrow or the next day. It's coming, where we will keep it's a totally different shape. So I just wanted to see, we were doing, very different shape here. Okay, so we'll be doing that next
Versus
from
that.
there. Yeah, it's going to be fun. So it's very versatile. It doesn't do just one thing. It'll be used for different things. So then today, I thought we'd do the little mini, and the difference between the mini and the dragon's
Original.
glass that we did yesterday is that this one actually does 2 cuts to get our wedges of our pumpkin. So we have this wedge cut, and then we have a square rectangle, and then a skinny and another outside. And then we have it framed out with our outside border. And then the stems in the background are all just chain pieced together. So we're not going to talk about those because that part's really simple. But what I thought we would do today is just construct one pumpkin together. And it's going to be my first pumpkin that I've ever put together.
So she can do this
So
on the
cross
fly
your
for
fingers
girls.
Yeah.
I hope that I can do it right. So this is what we have this is how I've gotten myself set up. So I picked 4 different fabrics, and you want 4 or 5. It's scrappy, so you could get as many as you wanted. The way that the pattern did it is they actually did neutral grays, and they just put in 1 or 2, actually 3 orange pumpkins, which is really cute. And our sample, Beth did. This is Beth's sample, right? Not Julie's?
We think
It's Beth's.
Oh, it is Beth's, yes, because Julie did make one.
It's too cute to give it back to her.
I know, it's been hanging. I think it's really cute, and it is actually something that could live all year round. It doesn't have to be just in the fall. But scrappy is great for the pumpkins, and then just a single background. So because I'm not making a lot of pumpkins, I just picked 4 fabrics. I went up to our fat quarter area, and I actually really have to tell you, I love,
Yes.
love this marbleized fabric. We have this in green, blue, purple, this rusty color.
so
I think it's in
gorgeous.
about 6 or 8 colors.
Yes.
I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. So I wanted to show you that one. And then these are my 4 colors that I put together.
And you just pulled these from Fat Quarters.
I just pulled them from Fat Quarters. I went into my stash, which happens to be our Fat Quarter rack at the front of the store, and I pulled these off that I thought they had a fall semblance.
Yeah.
All right, and then I just picked a plain neutral background. So the pattern tells us to cut our background. What does it tell us to do? It tells us to cut our background 2 3/4 inch by 6 inches to get its curve. So that everything starts with a rectangle with this ruler. So that's my background cut. And then it told me for my assorted neutrals and oranges to cut a 3.5 by 6 inch rectangle, and I need a couple of those, so I cut a few. And then we also need our center stem, or center of our pumpkin itself. So it's just a pure rectangle again. Okay, so I am going to stack up these 4. And I wouldn't want to cut a lot more than 4 at a time. A little tickle in my throat. Would you mind ironing those for me, because they're a little...
Oh, I'd love to.
Give them a press.
Yes. Okay, I'll do one at a time, should I?
Oh.
You can do the whole
Just
stack.
press them
She
down.
just likes to iron. We know how Joyce loves to iron.
I did.
That's true. So do we know, I know we just got more QCRs in. Do we know how much they are?
Yes. Yes, I can tell you as soon as I finish ironing.
Okay.
For you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So the large
Oh.
flipper ruler is that right? Oops, this is the wrong one.
Oh.
I did have it over here. Oh, you know what? We probably stole it. One moment.
Okay, Joyce will come back to us.
She'll be back.
She'll be back.
She'll be
back
back.
to the lesson.
Okay. All right. So I've got my 4 rectangles, and I'm just going to stack them up on top of each other. I want them squared up. I don't want them all... I want them carefully stacked. Okay. Then I have my mini ruler, and this pattern, every pattern that you get that has the that uses these quick rulers, the quick curve rulers, they tell you how big to cut this part to work with whatever shape you're making, plus how to line up this ruler to get it to fit your fabric and to make it into the shapes that you ultimately are looking for. So it tells me to line up my ruler in between the 1 and the 7 line, and that makes sense because this is a 6-inch rectangle. So here's my 1 line, here's my 7 line, and then it tells me to put this corner 2.5 inches over. So I'm going to just line it up like this. So I've got 1 to 7 I'm centered it this way, and then I put it on 2.5 inches over. And we've decided that this 28-inch ruler, we've tried it, both Joyce and I tried it, and the problem is that the shank is too short, so when we try to get it in, this ruler is a nice thick ruler, it doesn't want to go in it. So I moved up to a 45 millimeter ruler. The 60
Rotary cutter. Whatever.
Rotary cutter. Thank you. Thank you. The 60 really is really snug to get in here. It's just really big and doesn't want to get in. It doesn't hard to.
It's like Goldilocks.
Yeah, yeah.
Right,
So we
we're
have
gonna
the baby, the mama, and the papa, and we want mama today.
We want 45.
45. Okay, so this is an ergonomic one. The ergonomic ones you squeeze to open the blade. So I'm gonna just go into my starting slash.
Straight up and down.
Straight up and down, and I'm gonna come around the curve.
I actually heard that cut.
Well, I hope so. There we go! Woo!
Success!
Compared to yesterday, that's a lot better. Okay, so that's our first cut. That's part of our pumpkin, but it also wants us to make a second cut. So we're going to now move our corner here to the 3.5 inch line. So I'm going to still be centered between 1 and 7. And it tells me to come over to put the corner on the 3.5 inch tick mark. So I have a 3.5 inch tick mark here, and I have a 3.5 inch tick mark here. And it's going to give us another arc to cut, and we're going to end up with 2 different shapes for our pieces. So I'm going to just come in here. There we go. Oh, almost!
So close.
Don't do what I'm doing at home. I actually think that needs a new blade. Have you guys ever changed your blade, and after you change your blade, you're like, oh my gosh.
Why didn't I do that so
Why didn't I do that a long time ago? This blade needs to be changed. But I want you guys to see me suffer. I struggle. I think it's better that way.
Real world problems.
It's a real struggle. Okay, so if we imagine that this is our pumpkin, then I can take some pieces and I can arrange them. So here, let's say I want them to be this side. Maybe I want them to have a
Keep the
shadow.
light towards the inside because you have the background, right?
Yes.
We're going to keep it separate.
Oh, okay.
Don't
Let's
you
see.
think?
Where's my, here it is.
This is the fun part.
and then
yeah.
this,
You can make your own pumpkins.
and then I need a center. And I probably need to repeat. I should have picked 5 fabrics because there's 5 pieces in my pumpkin. I only
Use
picked
that
4.
pretty one.
Oh, the ass. All right, good
And
idea.
pretty.
All right, pretty one in the center. Okay, so this is what my pumpkin's gonna look like.
Oh, look how pretty.
Okay, so there he is lined up, but I need my outside pieces as well. So the outside pieces are cut a little bit differently to start. They were 6 inches by 2 3/4 inch, and it is gonna tell me, I'm following my instructions,
Very important.
to line up on the 2-inch line. So I'm gonna take my ruler, I'm gonna go center it between 1 and 7 again, but I'm gonna take the 2-inch line, which is right here, so 1, 2, and I'm going to cut, whoop. There we go. Almost. Yeah, there we go. All right. So this is my background piece. So if you imagine, just like we sewed the other day, we're going to just sew curve to curve. And let me, this is mirror, it's a symmetrical curve, so it doesn't matter. And then curve to curve. So there's my block lined up. Okay?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. All right, so I'm going to start with the outside, or actually I'm going to start with the inside. I'm going to just put these two together. And remember with this quilt, these pieces will not end up being even because we used a single cut. There's no seam allowance built into this, so we are going to have to square up after we get this made. So I'm going to go ahead and just sew these halves together. And you did find out pricing, right?
I did. Are you guys ready for pricing?
Yeah, well,
Let's do it.
Because this is
So for this cute little ruler, $19.95. And if you want the big girl, the original is $25. And I believe we have both of them. Well, obviously we have them both in here. They are.
They are. We just got boxes of them.
Oh, I know. So they're a lot of fun.
okay, I'm just going to look at this real quick.
Oh, reference the pattern. Always a good idea.
Yes, 1/4 inch. Okay, so see how far she suggests that we start down. So she suggests that we start down a 1/4 inch from this tip down to that. I'm still putting the L shaped on the bottom and the crescent on the top. So then I'm going to just start sewing. And just like every other time, I'm not going to worry about that curve, getting it perfectly put together before I start sewing. I'm going to put it together as I go. And I can't tell you how many people have said that these classes on doing these curves has made you get over your fear of curves, which makes me very, very happy.
And Tanya Mace, we know that you're like cutting and sewing along, so I'm super
That's what we heard. She's like, I had my rotary cutter out, I had my templates out, I had my mat out. She is ready to go.
She actually made something with hers. Cute.
Yeah, should we also tell about that some wonderful customer?
Oh my gosh.
Thank you, Duck Donuts.
Whoever brought us duck donuts, I went out and grabbed them and they were warm and they were delicious, but I didn't know who it was and I thought someone else knew what your name was, and no one else saw you.
Right.
So,
Tell us who you are.
So-
Yeah, so tell us who you are so we can properly thank
love
you.
you.
But another customer was picking up and I was talking to her to get her name to take it out and she says, there's someone in a car next to me with a special gift for you. And I sent Katie out and Katie thought I knew who that special person was.
and I just took them and we ate them and enjoyed them. So
Katie, tell them what kind of donut you had.
I had a bacon covered donut and it was delicious.
It looked incredible.
It did.
Yeah, they had key lime, they had coconut.
Is that what that was?
That's what Brett got.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty delicious.
Thank you guys for thinking of us.
That's right.
Wow.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and iron this.
See, we're all gonna look like these pumpkins she's making.
Yeah, yes,
so
we're all gaining the COVID, COVID-19.
COVID-19.
I mean COVID-19, right? I was thinking freshman 15, COVID-19.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, but you can see how nice and flat that comes again. Love it. And then I'm gonna do the other piece. Same thing, I'm gonna leave a little corner. When I start,
Don't they cut them out perfectly, right?
I know, these are really cute. Look, Ma, it's my first time.
So you guys can do this too.
If I can do it, you can do it.
That's for sure.
You just want to make sure that you just work a little bit ahead at a time and you don't speed sew. Can you see where I'm sewing it all, Katie?
Because Kathy's sewing in the dark.
I'm sewing in the total dark. Yeah, it is actually quite dark in here because I turned the lights off so there's not so much glare for you guys. There we go.
It's looking like a pumpkin.
All right, well, let
cute
Miss
is
Joyce.
that? I get to press.
You get to press. There you
All
go.
right. Okay, here we go.
And I'll keep sewing while you press.
This is team sewing.
Team, so we like team sewing.
Working
Love
hard.
team sewing. I love having Joyce in my sewing room.
Well, I'll take Kathy home and she'll do all my sewing.
That's right. If she does all my prep, I'll do all the sewing. That sounds like a great trade.
so cute, you guys.
Is it looking like a pumpkin?
Look at that.
Half a pumpkin.
I got half.
It's half a very cute pumpkin.
Right? Katie has
Oh,
a
it
cute
does.
mouse
It does.
today.
My orange. Here's the tie. Here's the orange tie. So this pattern is not from a book. This is a pattern. The mini pumpkins, and we have the mini pumpkin pattern in stock.
And the mini ruler to go with it.
Yeah.
How much is the pattern?
What do we do?
We have so many questions.
I opened the package.
Oh, I think I put it over there. I hid it from us.
$11.50.
$11.50 for the pattern.
It's clear bag.
Yes.
You only need to pay $11.50. Yep. Right,
Awesome.
$11.50.
Okay, I have one more seam before I can put my little pumpkin together. Isn't it fun watching me sew? You know, first time for everything.
All right, we'll put a pattern aside for you, Vicki.
I know, it is.
And Cindy,
Do you need the mini ruler too?
she has the ruler. She does.
She's prepared.
This pattern has been so popular with their customer, and it's so,
It has.
it's so fun.
I love that I don't have to pin anything. I just start my
Right.
curve and I just keep going around. Okay, there we go, Miss Joyce.
Oh, it's so exciting. Later on there.
There we are.
Okay.
Thank you.
See?
All right, I think we might have just sold out of patterns. Carol and Susan both want a pattern too.
Yay! You guys will love it. Gosh, I can't wait for all the show and tell after
Yes.
see everything you've made. Oh gosh, it just presses like a dream. Like a dream. Is that the way it goes? Oh, then we need the middle piece. Oh, the middle piece.
Yeah, I
Oh,
gotta add that. I gotta trim
More
first.
seams.
I gotta trim first.
All right.
Okay.
It's not coming together in the middle.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, well, see, it's yeah, it needs to be trimmed out. Okay. I like it.
Is this the right shape?
I hope so. Okay.
Julie, does this look right? She's not sure.
It looks super cool. I mean, it's so flat.
I mean, I can see that turning into a pumpkin one
I'm
day.
gonna turn into a pumpkin. I think it is. Okay, so what it tells us to do is put our 1/4 inch seam allowance on the inside there. I want to make sure I have 1/4 inch everywhere. And I want this to end up being trimmed down to 3 by 5.5.
This is
So
called
there's.
Sewing with Kathy.
I know, this is how I sew, kids. Get used to it.
Julie
All right.
says you're getting it. Julie approves.
Julie
All
approves.
right,
Does that look
Julie.
right, Julie?
We feel good already.
Okay, I should be on my Martelli spinner mat, but I'm not going to.
no,
It'll just
no,
confuse me.
no.
No.
You can have it.
All right, so what it says to do is it says to put your 1/4 inch seam allowance on the, where the seam joins, so right here is where I want my 1/4 inch seam allowance. And I'm gonna cut a 3 inch, so here you can see that there's extra 3 here, and I'm gonna come down to 5.5. So I'm gonna end up trimming this side, and then I'm gonna come back and trim the other 2 sides.
That
And
way
I
you
want
can
my
insert the
1/4
rectangle.
here as well
That
at the
makes
5.5 line. Yeah, I think it used to go like this. There we go.
Do you guys ever talk to yourselves at home when you're cutting? And so I do. It's the only way I
Yes.
can keep it
Yes.
I say the number, so I know what I'm
Yes,
doing.
Where am I going?
right.
What am I
Measure
doing?
twice, cut
Yes.
once.
If this turns out into a pumpkin, I'm going to be really proud of myself. I didn't even do a sample block. This is a first. It's like, can Kathy follow instructions in real time? Oh, it's looking right. I think it's looking right. And then I hope it was, 5.5. Yep. Okay, 3.5 I want it 3 by 5.5. So then I just put my 3 on this edge and my 5.5 along the bottom, and I'll trim my last 2 sides. I think it's turning into a unit that looks functional. Looks very functional. That's
it's
looking
gonna
good.
work.
Look, let's see, does it match my center? Oh,
Yes!
wait, no.
Oh, no.
Did I cut my center too small?
Do we have more?
Wait,
Do you have to cut the top and the bottom?
wait. This was
Uh-oh.
supposed to be cut 5.5. I cut it 5. I need 5.5. Well, look what I have right here.
It's a good thing she
See,
has
it's a
that.
good thing I have extra fabric. Does that ever happen to you at home where you cut something too small? By 1.5. Let me just look at the
Remember,
instructions.
measure twice, cut once.
Remember, I haven't made this before.
This is-
Kathy, you're cracking me up.
Julie says you can do it. You can do
Okay,
it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 is what I want. Look. All right, so I'm going to trim here. Here's my 1/2 inch. All right, let's see. Can you guys tell that the stress of doing a demo every day is starting to get to me? Can you tell?
God. Okay.
But look, it fits. When you cut the center the right height. It wasn't the hard part that I did wrong. It was the easy part I did wrong. Okay, I got to do one more trimming. I know you guys want to see that again.
That rectangle just wasn't enough of a
It
challenge
wasn't.
for you. Yeah.
All right, so I need to put my 1/4 inch seam allowance on
Yes.
this one. I need to put my 1/4 inch seam allowance at the 5.5 tick mark, which is right there on that one.
Repetition makes the best teacher.
Oh my gosh, it's so easy when you know what you're doing. It's not so easy when you don't. Okay. Then I'm going to trim the top. If I had that Martelli, I would spin, but I'm not.
But I offered to give it to you.
I know you did. You're a very good sharer. And then I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to put the 5.5 on the bottom, the 3 inch along the side, and I'm going to trim these two. If this turns into a pumpkin, I'm going to be so excited. Are you guys going to be excited for me?
She'll make
All right, are you guys betting whether or not I got this right?
Oh,
I
we
think
know
I
you
got
got
it
it.
right. I think I did.
All right.
All right, I got 2 more seams to finish my pumpkin block.
You can make a coaster out of this. How cute would that be?
I will give it to you.
Oh, cool. I can't wait. It better be right then.
All right. I'm not making the stem for you, too. That would be asking too
Oh,
much.
man.
We're going to do just the, I could make the stem, but
No.
I think you guys don't want to watch me do that. That'd be too much.
It's too easy.
All right,
for
now I'm
me.
just going a straight seam.
This is your first straight seam you've sewn in 2
Oh
weeks.
my gosh, it's a
You're
straight
right.
seam.
Right, Katie.
That's pretty exciting. One more straight seam. I'm just gonna put this side of the pumpkin. Oh my gosh, I think I did it. I'm pretty excited.
It's pretty
This
cute.
this was a quick curve.
Yeah, they're adorable. These little ones are so cute.
They are cute. I do sew faster when I sew straight.
Zoom,
Have to
zoom.
admit. All right. Okay, Miss Joyce.
The big reveal.
Bum, bada, bum.
There we go.
I could have used a little bit better fabric selection, but I just went into my scrap
which way to
pile. You want, if you're just using your scraps, you got to be happy with your scraps, right? But I could have been a little more creative in my color placement of my
Kathy?
pumpkin.
It's beautiful.
We don't own any ugly fabric. We do.
You're
no,
right.
You're right. We have
Well, I
all
love
our
the
fabric.
paisley, but yeah.
I don't know if I pressed in the right direction, but
It's all
doesn't
good.
that look like a pumpkin to you guys?
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
I
there you
think
go.
I did
It
it.
is.
So
I
cute.
did
You could have
it.
actually made this all out of one with just an accent. That'd be cute too.
Yeah.
I did. So many.
And good news also, One Wonderful Curve is back in. So the book.
Oh yes, the
Yes,
book
we
and
got
the
it
rulers. We got
today.
another shipment of the books and the rulers today, so we're in
Yes.
good shape on both. And I think that's all we're doing for today. We
I
got
want
any more
everybody to
else?
see Katie's cute mask. Flip it around.
Okay, flip
Show
it
her
around.
cute
We'll
mask.
look at Katie.
Hello, this is my cute mask. This was a red dot fabric. We might still have some. It's very cheap. It's red dot.
It's so cute. It's so cute.
All right.
I think that's it for today,
All
right?
right, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Oh, and I can't wait to show you. I got my AccuQuilt Club quilt back from Sharon Bitch with the beautiful, most beautiful quilting. So stay tuned next week, maybe.
Maybe, well, do you want to bind it before you show them?
I want to bind it before I show you. So the
It's
pressure's on.
gorgeous.
Her
It is.
her quilting is.
Love it.
Yeah.
So
it's really,
anyways,
really good.
thanks
All
everybody.
right.
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.